telling the story.
I think this is astonishing that Vice President Biden and really all of President Obama's inner circle individually were requesting being of a political opponent. This is a smoking gun if there ever was one.
The fight continues.
All right, we're going to get to the coronavirus updates and the various debates swirling around our approach to trying to, battle this virus. But Lou and I want to recap what I think ordinarily would be, we both think would ordinarily would be the 3-hour topic of our show today.
That's the truth. Yeah.
And that is the continued unraveling of the Russia collusion scam that began in the middle of 2016. And you've got the media focus on this. They actually are probably grateful that we have coronavirus because it's taking so much attention away from finally the real truth coming out on the Russia collusion scam. But big development today. Our good friend Rick Grenell from San Diego, by the way. He got into politics in the 90s working for Mayor Susan Golding. He's been a advisor of mine and on my campaign team for several years. He was appointed Director of National Intelligence, Acting Director of National Intelligence in late February to basically clean house, to go in there with a big old turn it on, and like roaches running in a kitchen with a bunch of old stale food, his job was to clean out the mess. What he's been doing in the intelligence community and getting information out there to the public domain. And so, number one, what he was able to release last week, proof that no evidence existed of Russia collusion between Trump and the Russian government. None, zip, zero, nada. And by the way, my friends, the evidence that Grenell released showed that that was testimony given to the U.S. Congress in 2017, in 2018, in 2019 by Obama administration officials and career intelligence and enforcement officials. So, Lou, what that tells me is that every Democrat politician that went out there on TV and said, I have proof of collusion, like Adam Schiff and so many others, they're liars. There's no way at this point, Lou, that we can say they were just confused or information.
Or even grandstanding, because they had, it was reported to them. They were in Congress at the time.
Yeah, they were lying. They were lying to the American people. They literally said, oh, we have proof of collusion. No. And because everyone knew this behind closed doors, the idea that we had 2.5 of Russia collusion investigation and then an impeachment all over the Mueller investigation is just, that's why they moved on to the contrived Ukraine matter. So, but back to what happened today. All of that's there. What we learned today is that the involvement in this investigation, in setting up the whole concept, the whole ruse that there was Russia collusion and we needed to investigate Trump and his inner circle, all hatched not just by some misguided FBI agent named Peter Strzok. It wasn't just, Comey sitting there saying, maybe I need to investigate this. No. This went right up to the White House. It included Vice President Joe Biden. It included Susan Rice. It included Loretta Lynch. It included James Brennan and James Clapper, Obama's chief of staff, Dennis McDonough, and, by the way, Obama himself participated in meetings and that law enforcement be brought to bear against Trump's inner circle. And they also basically authorized the unmasking of General Mike Flynn, setting him up as part of this. Hey, Lou, every little layer of the onion that we're peeling back and all the facts that are coming out, literally, who's going to be held accountable? It infuriates me because what clearly happened was the Obama administration abused their powers to basically try to thwart the incoming administration. We've had a policy and a practice in this country, back to George Washington, that there would be the peaceful transition of power from one party to another, from one administration to the next. And here you have the only in our entire history, the only president in our entire history to violate that sacred tradition is the Messiah himself, Barack Obama, and we have him dead to rights. This stinks to high heaven. There needs to be an explanation. I want to see Obama under oath, and I want him to explain, why did you do this?
That's just the very beginning of it, Carl. It's infuriating. It would be like literally nauseating if it wasn't for the deliciously richness of the fact that now the president and his Department of Justice are going after Biden. I mean, now they have the goods on Biden. So now Biden is squirming to try and to deflect from the question. Now Biden is the one that is having a hard time answering where I was, and what was going on. Back in the day, back during the too far ago, back in January, they were trying to say, well, what did Donald Trump do? And he used his authority to use Ukraine to get dirt on Biden. Now it's flipped, and we have proof of it. And these guys are really squirming. So it's going to be fun to see them answer these questions. President Trump is not going to let up his memory, and he deserves the right. He deserves it here.
But are they really squirming? The national media has basically ignored this whole thing. They want it because two things are happening. Number one, it's going to hurt Biden in the election. It is definitely going to fall back after all their sources and friends that provided them with information over the years, the last year against Trump. So the first thing is that they don't want this to get out because they know it's going to hurt Biden. It's going to help Trump because they're partisans. They're not real journalists. They're partisans. And secondly, once this comes forward, anyone who had any doubt, Lou, about the incompetence, the political bend of media, it's going to be completely put to rest because what it shows is the media ran forward with a false narrative when, in fact, the only evidence of violating public trust, tradition, the democratic process, and, frankly, colluding with Russia, if you take a look at the payment of Hillary Clinton's campaign to Russia, all that happened at the hands of Obama, Clinton, and the Democrats. And so the media literally created an entire 3-year narrative that was 180 degrees wrong.
Don't you think some of these sources, some of these journalists are going to be, red-faced and a little annoyed having been fed lies by politicians, and leaked lies, and they're out there because their career hangs in the balance. They're out there reporting these things. Sources told me, Wolf, that this happened and there was evidence of Russia collusion, and now here we are 2 years later, and it was all a complete lie.
Lou, you're assuming that these folks are journalists. They're not. These people are partisans. Don Leming, Anderson Cooper Scooper. These people are They are partisans. Although Don Leming is a lemming, they are partisans. They put, instead of being journalists, they put on the jersey of the Democrat Party, and they're out there pretending to be journalists so that they can then influence public opinion by driving a narrative. And so, no, they knew from the get-go that there was no evidence, that it didn't meet journalism standards. But they wanted it to be true because they have a political bend. It does relate to coronavirus because now we're in a situation where we're trying to get information out to the public on a very serious public health challenge. The importance of maintaining public trust in government and in media outlets has never been more important if we are to believe as dangerous as we expect it to be. And so that's why this is so insidious. It's not just losing public trust because of politics, because thank goodness Trump has helped blow open the lid on fake news and people discount most of the crap that they see on CNN, MSNBC, New York Slimes, etc. Problem now is, if there is a legitimate public health crisis, many of those same people are going to say, oh, it's probably fake news, whether or not it is, okay? And so we do need journalism in this country. This story needs to be handled appropriately. The media has one last chance. They need to come out guns blazing against Barack Obama saying, holy crap, we got misled. This is unacceptable. Even though we don't like Trump, we've never interfered with the pin of power. We never set up an investigation to try to create a pretext for impeachment. This is unacceptable. We apologize for not getting the story right, but people accountable now that the information and evidence is out there crystal clear. They're not going to do that, Lou, but that's the only thing that they can do to salvage what's reputation at this point.
Yeah, and I do think this is a chance. This is one last chance for any credibility. Otherwise, it does open the door for a brand new meeting. All right, we got lots to get to today. Coronavirus update, positivity rate. We'll explain what that is and why it matters. That's next. You're listening to the DeMaio Report. Carl DeMaio and Lou Penrose, 600 Kogo. But first, let us check in with Laura Kane, who's checking traffic. Hey, Laura.
Hey, Lou. Hey, Carl. This report is sponsored by CAL FIRE. Learn more at readyforwildfire.org. We have trouble on the 805 southbound right before Telegraph Canyon Road. An accident happened earlier. The right lane is still blocked. Traffic is back to the 54. And then southbound 805 before Governor. Some debris has been cleared from lanes, so traffic is starting to clear up there. It was a little slow. Northbound 125, some slow traffic from the 94 up toward some road work that's going on there. I'm Laura Kane. Kogo's next real-time traffic update is at 3:26.
Californians threaten our communities. Create defensible space. Clear away dead trees, brush, and vegetation from within 100 feet of your home. Do your part and help protect your community base. Learn how from CAL FIRE at readyforwildfire.org.
I've been telling you about the iHeartRadio app. The iHeartRadio app, along with some of the most influential voices in the world, are making sure the graduating class of 2020 get the commencement speeches they deserve. Now, it's being launched Friday, May 15th. Commencement, the podcast, and speeches by Bill and Melinda Gates, NPR's Guy Raz, CEO David Solomon, and more. Graduating or not, these are more than just commencement speeches. Inspiration. So congratulations to the class of 2020, and download the iHeartRadio app today.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world fit a time.
I haven't got a cold in 2.5 years. My wife can't argue with my track record because she's seen me not get sick. My daughter got sick over Christmas. I did about 3 days after she left. I went through both of them, didn't get sick. I tell people I like to think my immune system is armored up and I'm able to repel these colds. And if it isn't that, then what is it? Because I'd get at least a couple colds a year. And what has changed in the last 2.5 years? The only thing I can think of is I'm taking my fruits and vegetables, the balance of nature.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 30% off on any new preferred order. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code San Diego.
iHeartMedia knows small businesses across the country are facing new challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. So to help, we've put together the iHeartRadio Small Business Crisis Resource, which has critical information, including links to federal and state resources providing businesses with stimulus loans, grants, and other financial aid. We also shine a spotlight on small businesses doing good right now. Visit smallbusinesscrisis.com to learn more. That's smallbusinesscrisisresource.com, because your small business is big to us.
Are you a caregiver and in need of help? Well, now more than ever, being be overwhelming, but you are not alone. Many of you are caring for a loved one living with Alzheimer's, dementia, or with a chronic condition and are in need of assistance. Southern Caregiver offers free services to help you with your unique situation. And many Southern Caregiver Resource Center services are offered virtually via phone, email, and reach out, get help. Visit Southern Caregiver Resource Center. The website, scrc.care.
Get off my lawn.
But miss you for the $71 drain cleaning special.
Oh, Will? Get on my lawn. Tell the gang we're coming.
For plumbing.
Okay, you know how it feels when you've saved enough for that long-awaited home edition? Now imagine an addition on that. That's the feeling with Capital One, where a new savings account earns an interest rate 5 times the national average. That's right, 5 times. As representatives, more singers. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Rate comparison based on FDIC national rate. A member FDIC.
This is a last chance alert. It's happening. Publishers Clearinghouse is ready to award $5,000 a week for life in just days. Enter Niche.com and you could win $5,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss this last chance to win $5,000 a week for life on June 30th. Enter at PCom before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 6/25. No void where prohibited.
A local state senator calls on Governor Newsom to allow places of worship to gather, and Cal State University students will be online instead of...
Which means 10% of the cases in a community that has been tested. So if you have 100 town, if 10 of them test positive for it, of the 100 people, that's 10% of your sample.
It would be of the tests administered.
Of the tests administered every day.
If you have 1,000 people living in your community and you administer 100 tests, what you want to do that less than 10% of those tests are coming back positive. And that's not per day. It would be over the testing in a community. It should be no more than 10%. So, why is this important? Well, if the World Health says 10% is what is needed to manage the disease, where are we in Texas? Gee, we're about 4 to 5%. And where are we in San Diego? Now, San Diego, of course, has the issue of Baja California, and a lot of the Mexicans are coming across and driving our stats up.
And it's closer to Wuhan, China, than Texas.
Yeah.
And has Miramar Air Force Base, which had the first bunch of folks that were tested. But that is
the bigger thing is we're closer to Los Angeles, okay? But that's the bigger hotspot. But San Diego County is 4 to 5% as well. So a way to half the rate that the World Health Organization suggests would be optimal, and yet we're still closed. And there's no context, Lou. It makes it appear as though Texas has some big problem. So we gotta lay out going forward some clear metrics. You and I should demand of our elected officials by way of data. Positivity rate is one data set, but there's another data set that we need to also look at.
And we'll take a look at that next. And a lot to get to today, including this great big fat bailout. Speaker Pelosi has opened up your checkbook and wrote a check that you probably can't cover. It's all coming up on the DeMaio.
To an accident at Telegraph Canyon Road. You're in slow traffic. They're still clearing it out of the right lane. I'm Laura Kane. Kogo's next real-time traffic update is at 3:32.
Attention homeowners, the recently announced government has dropped mortgage rates to near all-time lows. At Interactive Mortgage, our 15-year fixed is a rock-bottom 2.5% rate and APR, and our 30 is just 2.99% rate and APR. That's right, our 15-year fixed rate and APR is just 2.5%, and our 30-year fixed rate and APR is just 2.99%. And if these low rates weren't enough, Interactive Mortgage will pay your escrow, title, and appraisal fees. You heard right, rock-bottom rates at Interactive Mortgage will fees. Whether you've refinanced last week, last month, or last year, call Interactive Mortgage now to take advantage of these ridiculously low rates at 844-381-CASH. That's 844-381-CASH. 844-381-2274. Winterpoint Corporation DBA Interactive Mortgage Equal Housing Lender. Terms and conditions apply. New clients only. $300,000 minimum loan amount. All loans subject to underwriting approval. And not all applicants will qualify. Loans made or arranged pursuant to California Finance Law License number 603F938. NMLS number 302352.
We understand that these are uncertain times. Looking for answers, we know many of you are also looking for help. That's why Liberty Mutual is automatically refunding a portion of our customers' personal auto insurance premiums. We're all flexible payment options for those who have been financially affected by the crisis. In these uncertain times, we want you to know we are here to help. Learn more about what Liberty Mutual is doing at mutual.com/COVID-19.
New York's mayor says he wants to keep the lockdown for months. Governors agree. As the economy collapses, Newsmax is asking Americans like you when the lockdown should end. You can vote in the Newsmax poll about the lockdowns and President Trump's virus to 39747. That's virus to 39747. And vote instantly. Congress and President Trump need to know your opinion about the lockdown. Virus to 39747. And watch Newsmax TV, America's new cable news channel everyone is talking about.
Listen to Kogo even faster with Cox Gigablast. Future speed internet is here. News Radio 6.
Right, but not here.
But not here, and for whatever reason, and at some point, I'm going to start getting conspiratorial. There seems to be an agenda here because everywhere.
FEMA, we should be saying to San Diego County, your job is to increase capacity, make sure we have ventilators, make sure we have PPE, the ability to do acute care. What are you doing to increase capacity back to work and not having a big explosion of cases? All you always hear are the gloom and doom predictions on models, not based on fact, but based on here's what we project will happen. And then those models are forgotten 2 weeks later when they don't actually come to fruition.
Right.
That's why we need to insist on metrics. That's fundamentally, if you want to reopen California, reopen the country, we have to be smart about using facts and figures and demanding the other side explain why the measures don't justify the lockdowns.
We've got to move past where we're at. We're never going to get out of this.
Here's the story that people don't want you to read about. We shut down the industry. Thousands of people per ship were put out of work. They're stuck on those boats. Many of them can't get back to India or Pakistan, Philippines, wherever they came from. In the last 11 days, there have been 4 deaths of cruise ship crew members in the including 2 suicides. 2. Another death is being the crew member, quote, fell overboard. Okay, so that may or may not be accidental.
Right, so that could be a third suicide there.
2 suicides investigated, and one of, quote, natural causes, apparently of natural causes. That's also being investigated. So I'm not.
So it could be you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not diminishing the 10.
Right, of course.
I'm not diminishing the 10 that died of COVID-19, who, by the way, all were over the age of 80. I'm out, though. The cruise ship story shows exactly what you and I have been saying, which is there is a public health, in addition to turmoil and pain, there's a public health angle to the lockdowns that needs to be quantified, and it needs to be weighed. And now, not only do we have the cruise ship example, but we have a study out that predicts something pretty big when it comes to mental health and public health challenge with the lockdowns. We got to get to that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big number, so stay tuned for that. That's right up next on the DeMaio Report. Carl DeMaio and Lou Penrose on News Radio 600 Kogo. First, let us check in with Laura Kane, who's taking a look at our freeways. Hey, Laura.
Hey guys, this report is sponsored by ChooseMat.org, proven treatment for opioid addiction. 805 before H, a crash, and 1 at Telegraph Canyon Road on the southbound side has traffic backed up to the 54. Hamashaw at Grand, a crash there just east of the 125 causing a backup. And at the border at San Isidro, 1 hour and 30-minute delay, 1 hour and 25 minutes at Otay. Medication-assisted treatment, or MAT, treatment for fentanyl, heroin, opioid painkiller, and prescription pill addiction during the coronavirus pandemic. MAT treatment is still available. Choose Change California, a treatment option that's right for you at ChooseMat.org. I'm Laura Kane. Kogo's next real-time traffic update is at 3:56.
Okay, so if you need to sell your home, it's going to be challenging in the coronavirus era. That's why the only person I would use to sell my own home is Chris Heller Keller Williams. He's really doing an amazing job right now connecting buyers and sellers. He's got a list of buyers waiting to buy properties. He's waiting for some sellers and he's getting solid returns, top dollar, 4% more than any other agent in the market, according to MLS. He's selling his homes in 7. What can he do for you? Call him, sit down, talk about how you can get your home sold in this market. 800-800-2978. That's 800-800-78, or visit AskKellerTheHomeseller.com.
Chris Heller, 851-991.
iHeartMedia knows small businesses across the country are facing during the COVID-19 pandemic. So to help, we've put together the iHeartRadio Small Business Crisis Resource, which has critical information, including links to federal and state resources providing businesses with stimulus loans, grants, and other financial aid. We also shine a spotlight on small businesses doing good right now. Visit Small Business Crisis Resource to learn more. That's smallbusinesscrisisresource.com, because your small business is big to us.
Carl DeMaio here. Painting your home? Stop now and contact Exteriors Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield is better than paint. It coats your home and protects it. My home looks great. Visit advanceexteriors.org and receive 21% off. Advance.org.
Americans rely on affordable, reliable package delivery from the U.S. Postal Service. It's a lifeline for rural communities. It powers our... But Washington politicians want to impose a massive package rate hike on the Postal Service. A 400% increase. We can't afford that these days. Tripling the price to send a package? That means 4 times the cost for seniors to ship their medication, 4 times to deliver household necessities, and 4 times for small businesses. Unneeded rate hikes that will harm Main Street and everyday Americans. America can't afford the package tax now. Call Congress now to 224-3121. Tell them to stop the package tax. The Postal Service is an economic lifeline for small businesses and rural over the country. That's 202-224-3121 and tell them to stop the postal rate hike. Paid for by the Package Coalition.
This report is sponsored by California Community Colleges.
Good afternoon from the Weather Center. Plenty of overnight clouds and some fog. Partly cloudy up tomorrow with highs in the 70s and the overnight lows in the 50s.
California community colleges are converting many in-person courses to online to make it as easy as possible to stay enrolled during the COVID-19 crisis. Learning online may seem overwhelming, but colleges have many resources to help students succeed. Visit stayenrolled.com for more information.
Diego's news and information station.
San Diego is going to be donating 1,000 face shields to the city of Tijuana.
Office-based businesses, strong encouragement for teleworking where possible. That does not work, can be present.
News Radio 600. Kogo.
This hour of the DeMaio Report is brought to you by MoneyTalkRadio.com.
Up to 20 for a high-efficiency air cleaner with your new install at Mozzie Heating, Air, and Solar.
As our community deals with this new way of life, we know you may be worried about paying your bills. News Center Kogo is here to help. 3 chances every day for you to text and win $1,000. We hope your family stays safe. We'll be here with everything you need to know and a chance to win $1,000 coming up in the next hour. Stay tuned on Kogo. For more information, go to Kogo.com, click on our contest tab. It's all being brought to you by Palomar Solar, a local name you can.
How the pandemic and the shutdowns could affect kids growing up. Tonight at 6 on San Diego's Evening News on News Radio 600. Kogo.
Hey, well, we'll tell you how the pandemic's going to affect people right now. Here is another study that just came out. Coronavirus pandemic may lead to 75,000, quote, deaths of despair from suicide, drug, and alcohol abuse, study says. And this is a that was released by Wellbeing Trust in Oakland, California.
Yeah, reported on CBS News. I'm not surprised at all, Carl. You know that we had a guest on just a few days ago, Mark Garagos was saying that folks can go and buy alcohol, but AA meetings cannot gather. I mean, that's the conditions we're in. So you extrapolate that out across the state of California. Why are we not surprised that people are going to fall victim to the despair that this entire home arrest is causing?
Yep. And, you know, I wanted to give you the cruise ship example because we could actually isolate the 10 COVID-19 deaths and compare them to the 4, by the way. So far, those people are still trapped on the boats. Not those people being the passengers, the workers. They're on lockdown. We have 10 COVID-19 deaths with people who are average age over 80, but we have got 4 in just the past few weeks of lockdown on the cruise ships of cruise ship employees, of which 2 are confirmed suicide, and 1 is being a possible suicide. And a 4th is, quote, natural causes. So, again, when we hear people say, but Carl, but Lou, don't you want to save lives? Yeah, there's also, in addition to the economic toll of lockdown, there is a mental and health toll that is also provable, better than the models and the crap that is being served up on COVID-19. Not diminishing the concern of COVID-19. It is a real disease. It can hurt people. It's aggressive, but it also can be managed. What we need to do is have balanced, risk-based strategies that have cost-benefit analysis on them that allow us to get also protecting public health. I think we can do both.
We absolutely can do both. They're doing both in many other states. They're doing both in many other countries. Becoming increasingly clear that California does not want to follow the lead of other states. They don't want to have a cost-benefit analysis. Certainly in Los Angeles, you know, the mayor of Los Angeles, Garcetti, was on one of the morning shows. I think it might have been with George Stephanopoulos, and he's doubling down on this idea that we need to stay until August, at least in Los Angeles County, for the benefit of public health. Well, it isn't impacting Los Angeles the way anybody, or Southern California at that matter. And there will be no Los Angeles economy to come back to on August 1st if we stay this way.
No. Breaking news from Wisconsin. Wisconsin Supreme Court moments ago ruled against continuing the lockdown date. So now we're seeing legal actions finally come out showing that governors and elected officials don't necessarily to deprive people of their ability to go out there and earn, survive, economically, defy these public health policies. And according to the Wisconsin Supreme Court, they don't see a sufficient justification of these broad powers. To give you, because I'm always about the numbers, Lou, and we got to give people the numbers. While people say, oh, but people could die. Well, here's another small business closing, 100,000. There's 100,000 small businesses in the country that are now forever closed as a result of 19 lockdowns. That's a study reported on Tuesday in the Washington Post, and 3% of restaurant operators have gone out of business. The economists are at least 2% of small businesses in the economy as a whole will not reopen. Now, the 3% of restaurant operators saying that they've gone out of business in California, the California Restaurant Association projects 30% of restaurants will not reopen. 30%.
That's huge.
Almost one out of three.
1 out of 3 restaurants in the state of California not coming back because we have shut down the economy.
Oh, here's some more numbers. Oh, I love it. I love numbers versus fear, okay? Facts versus fear. 50 total events have been canceled so far at the San Diego Convention Center. The Convention Center now will take a $14 million hit in their revenues, and that the impact to the economy is nearly $700 million and counting. The latest one was the Society of Human Resources Managers that announced this morning they're not coming to San Diego. The show, ironically, was scheduled for the end of June. I'm thinking to myself, boy, that's coming up rather quickly. And human resource managers probably shouldn't be at a conference. They should actually be dealing with employees that are out of work and trying to get back to work. But be that as it may, $700 million hit so far to San Diego's economy in our region, and a $14 million hit to the city's coffers. Again, I turn to the people who are in charge, and I ask, and I know why. Lou, you and I both know why, because I believe that their view is, number one, let's pretend. I do believe that they're guided by that, but they're too chicken blank to see it as a balancing approach. Instead, we just got to shut everything down, and I don't want anyone dying on us. And if that means the economy takes a tank, fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to get you welfare. We're going to get bailouts for all of you. So their view is, if we bail everybody out, then you can keep everyone locked down, and it will all be fine. Thinking about the financial consequence of bailing everyone out. Ultimately, I believe the reason why they don't care so much about the lockdown is that none of these politician decisions have had their benefits eliminated or their salary withheld. Right. They all have gotten full salary and benefits. Their union masters know that all their employees, government employees, have not been laid off. They've all gotten their full salaries and benefits. And in fact, they're now using this to justify hazard. And so now their best strategy to keep us locked down is they have to get the $3 trillion that Nancy Pelosi unveiled this week passed. And so we got to go through that law and show you all the crap that's in it and why we got to oppose this thing. I mean, literally no more bailout money, period, end of story, or else we'll never reopen. That's what's on the line.
Right. We have to starve the beast. All right, we'll go through it together. Coming up next on the DeMaio Report, Carl DeMaio and Lou Penrose on News Radio 600 KOGO. First, let's check in with Laura Kane.
Accident being cleared up southbound 805 after Bonita Road, and that's creating a backup to the 54. Southbound 15 at the 8. Some construction debris in lane. Traffic break to get it out of the way, so you might find brake lights there. I'm Laura Kane. KOGO's next real-time traffic update is at 4:03.
Hey, it's Lou Penrose, and I want to own appreciated investment real estate. You've been hearing all the stories about rent control in California now, other government interference coming out of Sacramento, auctions and making landlords somehow pay the price for all of this, all of these housing problems. You may just be tired of the property management or the tenant headache issues. It's time to sell the units. But what is the exit strategy that works for your property? What's your best move to make today? You can find answers to these and many other questions on how to sell in this seller's market to avoid capital gains taxes while potentially increasing your income and lowering your income taxes. You can learn many exit strategies in real estate, including property management-free Delaware statutory trusts. So if you own appreciated real estate and want to take advantage of the current seller's market along with the stock rates for the buyers, and they are, join a team of trusted advisors for an educational webinar workshop online. Wednesday, May the 27th, that webinar is at noon. Saturday, May the 30th, that webinar is scheduled at 10 a.m. 2 ways to register. Call 619-483-1031 or online at rentalownerworkshop.com.
You can't use your timeshare. They're closing the resorts, canceling reservations, and preventing owners from booking new reservations. Meanwhile, you're forced to keep paying mortgage and assessment fees. And forget about even getting there to begin with. Does your timeshare company care? Of course not. They're taking advantage of you. It's not you want out. Whether you bought decades ago or days ago, Timeshare Freedom Group can help. Timeshare Freedom Group's freedom process has helped thousands of people just like you